You're listening to Four Things to Know, a WCCO daily news podcast.
Today is Wednesday, May 13th. I'm Maria Lisignoli.
I'm Johnny Kahner. Thanks for listening to Four Things to Know.
Our top story today is a wild one. A Minnesota teenager is accused of gunning down his parents for taking his cell phone away. The shootings happened late last week at the family's apartment in Bemidji. Police found 3 adults at the apartment with gunshot wounds. According to the new criminal complaint, one of those victims told officers she was shot in the stomach by her son. Nearby, another victim, the shooter's father, was found with a gunshot wound to his leg. And a third victim was shot in the parking lot. 2 hours later, the 16-year-old turned himself in and admitted to officers, quote, he became irate after cell phone privileges were revoked and retaliated by commandeering a pistol, shooting his mother and father, as well as a third individual who was near the scene, end quote. The teen has been charged with 3 counts of assault with a dangerous weapon and illegal possession of a firearm.
Number 2 today, Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey is expected to sign a new gun reform ordinance. The Minneapolis City Council unanimously passed it last week. The ordinance includes a ban on assault-style weapons, large-capacity magazines, and would also restrict guns in some public places. But state law prevents cities from enforcing their own gun restrictions, so we will have more on what this means tonight on WCCO News.
For number 3 today, we want to get you the latest updates on the Hantavirus. The Minnesota Department of Health is monitoring one person who was potentially exposed to the virus. The department says that person may have briefly been exposed overseas to someone who was aboard the MV Hantavirus cruise ship and tested positive for the virus. Health officials say the person is being monitored here in Minnesota and is not showing any symptoms. The Minnesota Department of Health says the public risk remains low. They say the virus is spread by rodents. So far, the outbreak has been linked to 3 deaths. According to the CDC, Minnesota has only seen 2 reported hantavirus cases in the last 30 years.
And your fourth thing to know today, it is the talk of town in Cokato, a 100-year-old tree vandalized at the Town and Country Club. Frankie McLister has more from Wright County on why this is such a big deal to the community out west.
Because of its age, but also how exactly the vandals or vandal took this thing down. Now it spreads, the groundskeepers told me, about 29 inches long. We spoke to the Town and Country Club here, and they told us a lot of details about how this has really just taken over the town here in Wright County. Now they say that they're offering a $2,000 reward for the prosecution of the vandalism. They've heard from golfers from all over who are frustrated simply about why this would happen right in the middle of a hole. Now many are also making light of the situation online, including how this tree impacted their golf game. But in all seriousness, Wright County Sheriff's Office says the investigation is ongoing and asks if you know anything to please contact them.
As it got traction online, a lot of people are talking about, 25 years ago that tree, was a problem for my golf game, or my husband that passed away used to rest under that, or a shade tree. And I didn't realize the whole surrounding communities knew about this specific tree at our course.
Yeah, so earlier I said it spreads 29 inches wide. That's here at the stump. We saw them actually measure it themselves. We have asked the University of Minnesota what type of tree it could possibly be. So coming up at 6 p.m. tonight, we are going to have hopefully that information. And also we spoke with an individual who heard the chainsaws late at night days ago, but didn't see anything herself.
Yeah, interesting story there, Maria, and certainly would not help my golf game if there's a tree in the middle of the fairway either.
Right. How much do you want to bet it was someone who it just kept messing with their golf game? They're like, I need this thing down. We don't know, obviously.
I mean, it certainly could be. Think about it.
It is a huge tree, too.
Yeah.
If you're only listening to us right now and not watching, go check out Frankie's story on WCCO.com to see just how big this thing is. 100 years old. It had a lot of time to grow.
29 inches wide, too, at the stump, too. You could actually see Frankie's, he was patting it. You might have heard that. And you could just see how tiny his hand looked. So,
compared to this giant stump.
I'm going to have to watch the interview tonight.
Absolutely. Well, hey, those are the 4 things to know today. Now let's check in on our next weather forecast.
It's a top 10 weather day. Hope you've had a chance to get out and enjoy it, or will later this evening. Temperatures feeling nice in the 60s, and a light breeze will be replaced tomorrow by more wind. Eventually some heat and humidity, and by the end of the weekend, the potential for some severe weather. It's something we're watching, and it's in our forecast anywhere you find us, on air, online, or on the stream.
And now, here's more to know.
A college student who called for help drowned in a lake up north. A paddle boat capsized near Emily, Minnesota yesterday afternoon, sending 3 students into the water. The 19-year-old victim managed to dial 911, but then the call disconnected. 2 women who were with him made it safely to shore. Search crews later found the man's body underwater. Right now, the region's busiest trauma hospital is waiting for a financial lifeline. Lawmakers are debating how to keep Hennepin Healthcare in Minneapolis open. One option involves a sales tax hike. But for now, the hospital's prognosis remains up in the air. As the fate of HCMC remains in lawmakers' hands, WCCO talked with a patient who decided to make his private story public. Jared and Rebecca Moaning of Scott County sat down to talk with WCCO inside HCMC, and they said it was hard to be back. Last June, a brake slipped on Jared's tractor and he was crushed. He was taken to HCMC, where a pelvic specialist and a team were able to help him survive.
HCMC and the whole team that helped put me back together, plus a miracle, is the reason that I'm still here.
It just thinking of, I could have been a widow.
And after talking with WCCO, Jared reunited with the staff who saved his life. He said he wanted to tell his private story to show lawmakers this specific hospital with its trauma center and pelvic reconstruction team saved his life. The Minnesota legislative session ends on May 18th, and we are tracking the progress your lawmakers make on bills that impact you right here on 4 Things to Know.
This boat is more than a boat. It is not a thing. It's a vessel of memories, if you could say.
That's a family in southern Minnesota asking for your help to find a stolen boat that you just can't put a price on. Someone took it from Pioneer Campground, which is outside Wabasha, sometime last week. The boat belonged to Gary Schrader Jr., who spent years serving in Zimbrota, both as a police officer and a firefighter. He medically retired in 2020 while battling PTSD and then died by suicide in 2023. Minnesotans have continued to honor his life. Just last week, Governor Tim Walz signed a bill that would rename a stretch of Highway 58 in his honor. And now his family is asking for the community to step in again to bring back a boat that was a connection to the man they loved and lost. If you've seen it, please call police. And if you or a loved one is suffering from mental health problems, help is just a call or text away. 988 is a free 24/7 service. You can call or text anytime for help. This morning, there was a surprise announcement from KDWB's Dave Ryan.
I've been here for 33 years, almost exactly. 33 years would be like June 4th or whatever. And it is time. It is time to move on and see what's next.
Dave Ryan says there is no particular reason he is retiring now. He just wants time to do other things. He said he did not want a long goodbye, but did say he wanted a chance to say goodbye. And his last day on the radio, Maria, will be a week from this Friday, which is May 22nd.
That is wild to think about. I listen to the Dave Ryan in the Morning Show every single morning on the way to school.
Growing up.
Yep.
Wow. And they become, a part kind of like of your daily routine, your family. In a sense.
I mean, sometimes people say that to me that, I every morning I'm a part of their morning. And just like he was for me, it really is almost like a family member retiring. But good for him. I'm excited for him.
Yeah, that's such a long run, too. He said 46 years in radio.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a long time.
And 33 of them at KDWB. So, yeah, he is just a staple here in the community. I even went to middle school with his daughter.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah. That's funny.
So it really is kind of like, just a neighbor.
Yeah, full
on the
circle
radio.
moment. Well, congratulations on retirement. Okay, and let's get on to sports. Maria, big game tonight for the Minnesota Wild. Can they get the win? It's an elimination game if they don't.
Right. they're going home. If they're not winning tonight.
Yeah, they're down 3-1. They have to beat the Avalanche tonight to stay in the series. Now, puck drop in Denver set for 7 p.m. Hopefully on the show tomorrow we can talk about a win, and then they would come home for Game 6, which would be on Friday night.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. We also have news today about the Minnesota Vikings schedule. Yeah, not football season yet, but big news today. The Vikings will play in Mexico City against the San Francisco 49ers. That will be lots of fun. We remember last year they had a couple international games.
Yep, this one, London, Ireland. Yeah.
And they don't have to travel as far for this one.
That's true. A little closer to home.
Yeah, absolutely. And that'll be fun down there. Apparently there's a big Vikings, community down in Mexico, too, just like there are for the Niners. And it'll be on NBC Sunday Night Football.
Okay. Yeah.
And now we have to talk about the Timberwolves' loss last night. Maria, did you catch any of that game?
No, I didn't catch any of it.
You were watching the Frost.
I watched the Frost and got so disappointed I went to bed. I was like, I can't handle another loss.
They lost 2, the Frost did. And yesterday we were hoping we could at least go 1-1, maybe 2-0. We went 0-2.
So yeah, now the Frost are done. They're done with the playoff series, unfortunately, even though they were back-to-back Walter Cup champions. But you know what?
Good season.
Really good season.
What are your observations? Because we talked a little in the morning, and you just said we just couldn't get much going on offense.
I just felt like we didn't have the playing technique that the Victoire had. I mean, they were passing all over the place. They were defending like no other, and we were just missing passes and obviously missing goals. So, it was evident that the Victoire were the better team last night, unfortunately. But yeah, like you said, great run.
Yeah, tough loss last night. We actually heard from head coach Ken Klee after the game.
Obviously super proud of our group. I mean, we're not only back-to-back champs, but to come out, in a Game 5 situation where we're on the road again, we're under, backs against the wall, and these ladies just played unbelievable.
And Maria, we mentioned the Wolves too. They are going to have a must-win of their own on Friday. Just not a great loss. They were tied 61-61 in the third quarter.
That's not bad. Yeah, in the third quarter.
And they ended up losing by 29 points.
What?
So
that's too many points.
We'll see. They have a couple days off now. They also play on Friday, and that's a must-win at home against the Spurs.
And we know, how did Ant do? He did really well in the last game, but how was last night?
I honestly didn't see much of the game last night. I just know, if you're tied later in the game like that, then you get blown out. The fourth quarter didn't go great, right?
Yeah. But we did hear from Ant.
I don't see nobody in the locker room that's too worried. At the end of the day, man, it's another basketball game. So you come out, put your boots on, and get ready to go to war.
It's time to take a breath with your Daily Bright Spot.
An exciting birthday is coming up at the Wildcat Sanctuary in Sandstone, Minnesota.
And we know any birthday is, of course, worth celebrating. But what about an ocelot, 27 years old for Rio?
Yeah, ocelot. Had you heard of that kind of a cat before?
No, I didn't know what it was.
I didn't either. But when you look at her, she looks like a kind of a tiny little tiger.
Cheetah or something.
Kind of, yeah, exactly. Like a
big
smaller
cat.
cheetah.
Smaller cat, yeah.
Like a dog-sized cat, golden retriever-sized cat. She's really cute, though. She doesn't look 27, that's for sure. And guess what? She is currently the oldest ocelot in human care.
Wow. 27 years old. I mean, and humans, it's so weird for us, right? We can live a lot longer, but
right.
Everything in perspective, right? So that's pretty fun. So a big birthday.
A big birthday, because I did some Googling and saw that in the wild, ocelots live 5 to 10 years, maybe. In human captivity, under human care, they could live anywhere from 20 to 25 years, but the average is around 20 years. So for her to be 27 years old, it's pretty remarkable, almost unheard of, her caretakers say.
27 fish, or I don't even know what they would eat.
Oh.
Do you have any idea?
Fish, I'm sure all these. They have like
a
little birthday frozen cake for her. I saw it was really cute. And, she's doing great. I guess despite her age, she's active, curious, engaged with her environment. Now, she's not 27 yet. Technically, her birthday is on May 28th, and she's going to celebrate with, treats and fun activities.
Let's go. Hopefully she knows it's her birthday.
Let's go, Rio. Yeah, no kidding. Well, thank you so much for joining us here on 4 Things to Know. With Johnny Kahner, I'm Maria Lisignoli, and we're here with the news you need every weekday afternoon by 3 o'clock.
Listen to 4 Things to Know, a WCCO daily news podcast, wherever you get your podcasts.
Love podcasts? Love Minnesota?
Check out the WCCO podcast studio lineup.
Hear the top stories of the day with 4 Things to Know.
Discover top female athletes and teams from around the state on women in sports.
Dive into stories about faith and belief, from your local leaders to your neighbors next door, with Bigger Than Belief.
Stay in the know on the go with the WCCO podcast studio. Go to WCCO.com/podcasts.